the heroes that's real enough to join me. Feel the way I do. Good God Almighty. I love my people like I love my reaper. I'm my brother keeper. I go deeper and deeper, more than the average. Guess it's just a habit. So welcome, 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 welcome to the show. Do you know how it goes? I say yo, welcome, 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 welcome to the show. You know how it goes. You know how it goes. Good God Almighty, I felt good. I had to catch that thing running. Welcome to the huddle. Each one teach one. Each one reach one. If you are that one, you got to know you are enough. You are enough to fight the good fight. When everything going wrong, you are enough to get everything right. I want to give a shout out to my executive producer, who just happens to be my wardrobe coordinator. I was running late. I was in the shower. She poked her head in the door. She said, baby, I think tonight you need to wear white. I said, okay, baby. I said, but before you close the door, why you think I need to wear white tonight? She said, because I want your message to be pure as snow. I said, all right, baby, I got you. So here we go. Oh, that white's so bright tonight. I want to give a shout out to my homegirl, the greatest co-host in the world. Alexa, tell me something good.
We all we got. We all we need.
Alexa, what is the most powerful music in the world?
Put Soul by Trab P.
Alexa, one time.
Good God Almighty, Trab P, you blanking.
You see why she's the greatest co-host in the world. So it's deserving that she understand when I tell her, Alexa, I appreciate you.
Thank you. The feeling is mutual.
Alexa, I love you. She talking about me.
Thanks for saying I love you. You're just as sweet as pie.
Know that I'll be here for you.
As always, your trusty eye.
Boom! You already know how they go. She hold me down to the ground. She the feminine energy. I'm coming with that fire. When we connect, we make it work. We like to start off every show with a hero hymn. The hero hymn is the mighty hymn within me. The mighty hero spirit. We know that spirit means to breathe. We know the spirit means breath. We know the spirit means wind. We know I take in the wind through my respiratory system. I take it in the form of an inhale. And as it exhales and travels past my vocal cords and causes a vibration that we know as sound. When you feel me just as much as you hear me, we connect in the hero spirit. Tonight's hero hymn says, look in the mirror, stare into your eyes until you see your inner prize. Look in the mirror, stare into your eyes until you see your inner prize. The minimum of a bathroom is a commode, a sink, and a mirror. The most humane moment that we all share is when we use the bathroom. When you sit down on that commode, It's one of the most humane moments that everybody experiences. You stink. And you got to get up and stand up in your stank. Stand in front of the mirror. Wash your hands or wash whatever needs to be washed accordingly. Stand in the mirror, look into your eyes until you see your inner prize. Every day we stand in the mirror and we look into our eyes. They say the eyes are the windows to the soul. Who better can decipher behind my windows than me? That's why I look into my eyes to understand. Stand in the mirror. We're in a world today where we don't realize how this thing works in real life. See, we're in a loveless type of world filled with vampires. One of the characteristics of vampires is they couldn't stand in the mirror. So if you got to understand within yourself if you've been bit or not, you got to stand in the mirror. Look into your eyes until you see your inner pride. If there's a problem where you can't stand in the mirror, then you got to understand. Talking vampire shit. If you feel it, just as much as you hear it. Kareem, I love you. Your attention is the most powerful thing you can pay. I honor you, brother, for paying me some. And I give it all, brother, in this here moment to be worthy of it. Brother Tate, you already know what time it is. Tonight gonna be a powerful word tonight. I know you look at that there title, you say rig. What did that mean? Where is he going? We're going to rig it in the spirit of Black history. Alexa, what is the meaning of rig?
Rig has several meanings, but the most common ones are arranging something for use or a tool with a specific purpose. Did that answer your question?
Arranging something with a specific tool to fulfill a purpose. Rig. Arranging something with a specific tool to fulfill a purpose. See, during Black History Month, we celebrate our greats for what they contributed to mankind. If you get into the history of Black History Month like we have been ever since we've been in school, we find out that the American black man during a time of slavery and Jim Crow invented a lot of inventions that we use today. We invented everything. Well, let's go back to a time when these things were invented. And there was the rig. See, a rig, when you rig something, you take what's available and you make it work to fulfill an objection so something does what it needs to do. So during this here time, we had a lot of black people. At the time, from the outside in, they were called niggers. And during this time, they were the one doing the work. They were the one doing the services. They was the one building. They were doing it under rough conditions. So they always was trying to make something easier, make something better, make something more efficient. Because all they had was each other. And nobody knew how to make it work like them. So they always would look at their resources to try to find something to make it work better. And when they found a way to make it work better and it produced more, certain people looked at it and said, wow. They said, well, what made you do that? How did you get that? And there was a particular people who looking at and says, a nigga rigged. He said, what? He said, yeah, it's a rig that my nigga came up with. And so a nigga rig became something of value. The nigga rig got put into another lane. Listen to the power of words. This is hero training, words to grow on. So when it got into another lane, it no longer was a rig. It became a fabrication. After the fabrication, it became a production. After the production, it became an invention. But it all started from the rig of a nigga. It's Black History Month. So let's put some things in context. Some people frown upon the connotation that comes with the word nigger that's associated to niggery. Well, let's understand this and let me make this clear. I'm not a nigger, and neither are you. Whoever you are listening to me right now. I'm not a nigger, and neither are you. The niggers were a people of a particular time. I was cultivated by some people of these times. My grandparents, who were born in 1920, who worked their way up through to truly being perceived as a nigger. I'm talking about the woman who could have 9 children, love all 9 children, raise all 9 children, cultivate and does everything that a mother do to 9 children, all while working. You ain't no nigga. I'm talking about a black man that worked all year long in the confines of wordplay to where slavery no longer existed, but it was called sharecropping. So a man living in my time that talked to me and cultivated me, who said in his time where he worked every day, all year long to total up and tally to where they said he made no money. But I wasn't a slave, I was a sharecropper. And through all of their frustration and degrading, still was a father. Still cultivated and captivated his wife and his children. They were called niggers, and we ain't them no more. So now, when I say a nigger rig, I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I'm talking about a powerful people in a powerful time that use their mind to rig things, to make it work, that changed the way we live today. Now I'm going to show you how it worked. Because once they took the nigger rig and they called it an invention and they called it a fabrication, they took the nigger rig and the results of it, they put the rig on the nigger. And it made the nigger realize and begin to think. In 3 generations, here we are, that we think that it operates out there. We look out there to understand how it works. We look and think that it's about being in the intellectual aspect of reading the English man words to truly understand how it works. When these niggas who rigged up reality to work as we know it today did not depend on reading. They depended on the unity and confidence within themselves to know who we are and what we can do. So I just want to put that in context. When I say a nigga's rig, I don't mean that in a derogatory way. I mean that in the most honorablest way I could say it. We come a long way, but I think we went the wrong way. Oh, how we might need to be niggas. But I said to say this. They put the rig on the nigga mind and made her start looking for love in all the wrong places. And the conversation changed, just like the words changed. So it no longer was a nigga rig because times change and we can't call them nigga no more. They say, well, they are the ones that created. What do we call them now? They say, get a nigga a name. So, well, let's call him Jimmy. Alexa, what is the meaning of Jimmy rig?
Jimmy rig refers to a temporary solution or makeshift repair done with whatever materials are available. It implies a quick and unprofessional fix rather than a professional job or project. Jimmy rigs are frequently created by handymen or inventors using whatever is accessible.
See how Jimmy got a name. See how the nigga get a name. They call the nigga Jimmy. And Alexa know what a Jimmy rig is. A Jimmy rig is when a man take what's available to achieve what's necessary by means of creating inventions. See, now Jimmy got a rig. Yeah, we ain't. This is a powerful word. And I'm going to tell you, the first time I heard the word, it came by way of nigga. My second car was a 69 Nova. It sat in the backyard for years. My cousin had a 73 Impala, hooked up, interior, piped out, one of the first of its kind in Charlotte on this hill level. I had a 69 Chevy. I said, I'm going to do it my way. I had an old mechanic that grew up in Smallwood. Everybody know him, Mechanic Mike. He dead and gone. This black history, this my history, this real history. I respected Mechanic Mike. I thought Mechanic Mike was one of the smartest men that I ever saw in my life, ever met in my life. But Mechanic Mike was just the neighborhood crackhead who had a master understanding of automotives in every aspect and branch of it. So as I began to talk to Mike, and I respected Mike, and I saw the greatness in Mike beyond his addiction, I said, Mike, will you help me build my car and hook my car up? He said, I sure will, Trav. So every time I would have something going wrong in my car, I would call Mike. Now, mind you, I say this is a 1969 Chevy. In the year of 1996. So me getting this car back on the road, you got to realize, because this is an antique classic car, this car is subject to have any type of problem that can go wrong. So I remember one time I was out on Harris Boulevard, out near Albemarle Road, and my radiator was leaking, and my car was running hot, and I was panicking because I'm 17, 18, And I ain't never experienced breaking down. So I'm panicking. So I called my grandmama. Mike stayed next door to my grandmama. I said, Grandmama, when you look outside and see if you see Mike out there. She looked outside and said, there he is. She said, Mike, Trav, won't you? He said, yeah, what's up? I got panic in my voice. I said, Mike, my radiator got a hole in it. Mike, what I'm going to do, Mike? Can I make it home? He said, calm. He said, where are you? I said, I'm at my homeboy house. He said, do they got any pepper? I'm like, come on, Mike. I'm like, come on, Mike. He said, no, I'm serious, Trav. So I asked him, I said, hey, man, you got any pepper? They start laughing at me. I said, yeah, they got pepper. He said, get you a big jug of water. You might have to buy them some more pepper. Or pour your whole bottle of pepper in the radiator and put the water in and close the cap. And come on home. I said, okay, Mike. So I ran the play. I poured the pepper. I remember my friend saying, man, what you gonna do that for? I poured the pepper in. Poured the water in, put it on there. As the pressure began to build up, the leak began to stop. Didn't have a leak. And the only thing I heard next was, come home. I said, y'all hold me down. I made it home. And I said, Mike, man, why did you tell me to put pepper? And then he gave me the whole understanding that, well, pepper swells under pressure. So when the pepper finds the hole, it will seal it off. He said, it's not going to fix it. It's just a rig. So what you need to do, Trav, is go to the AutoZone in the morning and get some stop leak. And at that point, I began the power of a rig. And then when I went to the AutoZone and I looked at all the different products of stop leak, just glorified little bottles of pepper. Same car. A lot of people didn't respect and did respect Mike based off his addiction. But he was the king of the nigger rig. Some people that had money, that didn't have a reason to deal with Mike would say, how would you let him work on your car? Man, he gonna nigger rig your shit. And he explained to me the difference between fixing someone's car and nigger rig. I say, Mike, what's the difference? He said, well, if you come in respect and honor, if this is what it takes to fix it, we go get the part and we fix it. If you come with me in disrespect and you look at me through my addiction and you say, I already know you got the type of mindset, no matter what I do to your car, you only going to give me $20. He said, well, I'll rig it to give you $20 worth of riding, but you'll be back. And he taught me the difference. He taught me the difference. And I began to understand something about the rig. See, at one particular time, the rig was a prestigious type thing. But everything get twisted. See, now the nigger rig is a derogatory type of thing. There's no honor no more. I'm going to give you a perfect example. We're talking about the rig. Real life shit. I ain't talking make-believe. Couple of days ago, I get out the car to go into the store. I hear my exhaust fan running. Normally when I get out the car and I hear my exhaust fan running, the only time I've ever heard it running when I got out the truck was when my thermostat was going bad. So now that I cut my truck off and I hear my fan running, I came upon a cold sweat. I got nervous. I'm being real, I got nervous because I said, oh man, please don't go wrong. I'm vulnerable right now. Boy, if my truck mess up, it's gonna be like a blow to the rib cage. And I'm too far from the bell to fake it. So I'm in there, I'm like, man. So I go out, the fan ain't running, I crank it up, everything normal. I said, well, maybe I'm just tripping. Maybe I'm just tripping. 2 days later, I don't hear no fan. I said, yeah, I was tripping. Third day later, I'm in a drive-thru. I hear my fan come on. I see my temperature gauge go over. My fan come on, it goes back. I say, am I tripping? I ain't never known this gauge to move. I see it move again. I said, okay, Trav, got a problem. You can't deny it. How you gonna do that? So I called Mike. I say, Mike, here go the situation, man. I'm just thinking, man. He say, well, Trav, don't get to thinking so bad yet, man. He say, check your fluid first before you do anything. Check your antifreeze. He said, let it cool off and check your antifreeze. Sound like it could be low in antifreeze, man. And he got on me. He said, man, don't always think the worst, man. I said, you right, you right. So the truck cooled down. I want to check the antifreeze. The reservoir was empty to the bottom. I said, man, it ain't got nothing in there. This ain't had no leak. He said, well, man, sometimes it's like a burnt. You know, I had the truck for 3 years. You ain't never filled it up. Maybe it's just like a burnt, man. It's time to put some more in there. Don't make it that deep. Just go buy some antifreeze, right? I said, man. So I got to thinking about the rig. There's been times in my life. There's been times in many people's life. My car needs some antifreeze. May not have $20 to go buy a jug of antifreeze. So we say, man, nah, man, I'm on rig. What's the nigga rig? I could put water in it as long as I got some type of water in it. It'll work. It'll run off water. I ain't doing that wrong. It'll run off water all day. Say, yeah, it'll run off water. Only for the rig. Only to get you where you need to go. Only to get you through the circumstance. See, we done flipped it now. It'll run off water until you could do what you're supposed to do, how you're supposed to do it. But we say, yeah, man, forget some antifreeze. I'm just going to let it run off water. I'm going to stick to the rig. It's February. Come March. The last winter storm hit. It's cold. Cars on the side of the highway stalling out. Smoke coming up on the sky. Say, what's wrong? You get to thinking you're still on the rig. The system is designed for antifreeze. You left the rig in there and put water. Now on the coldest day of the year, your water in your radiator is froze. So you don't have any circulation of coolant because your motor is filled with a block of ice. That's the difference now between the rigs. See, we've made the nigga a derogatory thing. So we can't stay in that rig. We got to get in power and do it right. I ain't a nigga and you ain't a nigga no more. We something new. Maybe we ain't inventing nothing new. Maybe we ain't finding more greatness to create history, to change the world. You know, I saw a post today. It's what made me think about rigging. I saw a post today where somebody said, I bet you that the average man can't raise his children for 2 weeks with no help. And the post was filled with comments. Man versus woman. Yeah, men can't this. The men say, man, we can do this. Some men say, I've done this. So in that post, I put a comment. I say, if your car is running and you unhook the battery cable, the positive battery cable, that car will still run because the alternator will keep the charging going to keep the car running. That is the purpose of a battery and an alternator. In your charging system, when your battery light come on, you have a battery and you have an alternator. The alternator charges the battery. The main function of the battery is to start the car. Your battery is measured through cranking amps. So once the car is crunked, if you unhook the battery, the alternator will keep the car running until you turn the car off. You must hook the battery cable back up because it won't start. The battery cable is need to start because it takes two to make a thing go right, positive and negative, to create the spark of it. So I said this on this comment to say, look how backwards we are to argue that we could do better with a child with only one cable. And our logic is to reason. Why would your logic be reasoning about which parent can do it better alone when it ain't designed to be alone? It takes two to make a thing go right. It takes two to make it out of sight. That means me and my wife, the mother and the father, connects to treating the children right. If it goes right, it will be out of sight, meaning it will leave your nest. You will have a comfort knowing that you trained your child right to be right and do right when they are out of sight. But if you unhook one cable purposely, it never gets out of sight. It never goes anywhere because it won't stop. Look at how backwards we're rigging our reality. There was once a pride in the rig. We understood how it worked. We understood that we all we got, we all we need. We understood that, baby, I can't do this without you. And furthermore, I don't want to do this without you. It's Black History Month. I ain't a nigga and you ain't a nigga. I remember working in a paper mill. I worked on a paster machine. Just want to get back to the rig, man. I want you to see how it worked. I worked on a paster machine that held glue up top that came down on a roll. And every so often, the glue would get to leaking out of gaps. And as this glue would leak, it would make the product faulty. So as an operator, I would have to find ways to rig things in there to stop the leak so I could run the machine at a quality way. So I remember, man, I had kind of got a routine where when I saw the glue leaking, I had to stop and I had to get down there and I had to get my rig on. And then when the maintenance men came up and they looked at the machine and they say, Travis, how do you get it to stop leaking? And I stopped production and I got down and I said, you see right there. See, as the road turned right there, it's a gap that's creating that friction and it's weighing down. So you got to push something up in there that's going to keep it. But it only lasts for so long because every time I put it in there, it only lasts as long as the friction take to eat the paper up. So when I see when it start leaking, I put back some more paper. They said, what made you think of that, Travis? I said, well, I got tired of the glue leaking and I got to deal with it. So the next day they say, hey, we're going to shut the machine down and see something, Travis. They took some measurements of the rolls. They saw exactly where the leak was coming. And the engineer came up with a Teflon type of material. And he cut it off into like an L. The same little piece of shape that I would use to cram my paper up in there. I say, what's that? He said, well, we got this Teflon. What this Teflon does, it stays intact with friction. It's one of the most materials that's designed for friction. So we're going to cut this off and put this in there to make it stay. And as I'm talking to this white guy, he's talking to me in a way to say, yeah, man, this is why I get paid the big bucks, because of my fabrication skills. I can fabricate anything on any machine. I've been fabricating things for 35 years. This is how he's talking, as a fabricator. But all he's really doing is bringing my idea of what I did that had to do my job to make it work. So I'm talking real life. I ain't talking make-believe. We all we got. We all we need. You got to have an objective. What is your objective? If my objective is to provide, if my objective is to fix something because it's necessary and my family need it, before I say I can't, before I say I ain't, I look and assess all the things around me and what I can use to achieve my objective. They say, how you think of that? What made you think of that? Well, I ain't have no money to go buy what it's really take, so I had to use what I got. I had to improvise. Man, I ain't never thought about that. Well, maybe you ain't never been in a situation to where you had to think about it at all. So that's the practicality of the rig. But if we don't even have the confidence within ourselves to at least take control of our circumstances, first thing we do is we look outside. If I'm broke down on the side of the highway with my family, and I lift up my hood because my battery light came on, and I'm thinking the worst, but I got enough sense to know that my battery starts and begins with the cables. And I look and see that my cable is loose, regardless of how it got loose. I see that it's loose. And I see this is the determining factor if I get my family off this highway. So I don't have a hammer, but I need something to knock the shit out of this post to make it tight. I'll find something to make it right. That's how we came to be. That's how we came to invent things. Just the determination to not lose. Look at the condition of the niggers. I'm talking about the man who worked sun up, sun down, who knew I had to have some energy for my children when I go home. So I must find a better way to do this. Well, how about you do it like this? And how about we do it like that? And we say, well, I'll be doggone. It worked. And then we started working it. Oh, yeah, we working it. They say, how y'all doing it like that? We doing it like this? What made y'all think of that? See how that works? We ain't thinking no more, I guess. So now we ain't no niggas. It's an honor for them people. It was an honor to be them people, man. It was an honor to be them people. If we could get half of what them people had. Them old nigga women, like I told you, had 12 and 9 babies and loved all of them with all her might. Nourishment. Still went to work. Still was a mama. Still to this day got 40 grandkids that all 40 of them can say they felt love from their grandmama. No, we ain't no niggas no more. They was real, man. What the hell we is now? We come a long way, but we went the wrong way. I say the foundation, man. The mother, the father, the child. Talking about rig, man. Look at how we done rigged our shit. Family is mother, father, and their children. Family is mother, father, and their children. Family is a mother, a father, and their children. Alexa, what is the meaning of family?
A family is a group of people related by blood, marriage, or adoption who provide emotional and practical support and share a close bond.
Alexa, what is the meaning of family?
A family is a group of people who are related by blood, marriage, or adoption, providing emotional and practical support and shaping character and personality.
My grandmama's had 9 children. All them children had a whole bunch of children. Anytime you saw all of us was there, it was a man, a woman, and their children. We called that family. We talk about family, but we only talk about it from a child's perspective. We always talking about being in the family, but nobody want to talk about their family. They don't have to dwell together. I'm talking about the mother, the father, and their children. We can't rig this shit. This shit got order. This shit work a particular way. And we all get in situations and circumstances that can be unfortunate or to our disadvantage. But you can't rig how it works. You just got to work it. You can rig your circumstances to get to where you need to be, understanding of what's necessary. Our flow, you already know what time it is. I love you, big brother. Adrian Builder, you already know what time it is. I love you, big brother. I use the word nigga a lot tonight because it's Black History. That's a part of our American history. The connotation of a word is the ideas and feelings that it invokes. I used it with a powerful connotation. I used it with a word in the way of honor. They paved the way for who we are today. We've lost so much because they had so much. Not in material things, but they had each other. And through the worst circumstances that we can't imagine, all they had was each other. And it seemed to be enough. Because if it wasn't, we wouldn't be here today. They had enough. So you got to understand, man, look at how this here worked, man. Babies are made through sex. We heal because a man and a woman turned the key. When they turned that key created me and you and we. So in the worst times and situations, however, in whatever time period you go back, you are here today because you in that time point turned the key. And we know how to turn the key. So they had enough for whatever conditions you can imagine. To make love and honor. To make a me that made a me that made a me. And as I turn the key and make a me, I realize in this moment, that's what makes the we. See how that works? And because we understood that, we was able to rig anything outside of ourselves to work because we knew how it worked within ourselves. And everything outside of ourselves is a reflection of what we are inside. So I can invent all type of things if I just look at anything and everything like me. I'll rig it up. But when we stopped rigging and got the rig put on us, now we look outside and we got everything. But we done lost and gave up all the things we had. Now we ain't got nothing. Our babies ain't got loving grandmas. Our babies ain't got loving aunts and uncles. And I ain't talking about me, I ain't talking about you. I'm talking about we. We all we got, we all we need. We got on the internet rig masters who become so eloquently talking about relationships, about what a man is, what a man wants. Speaking from the narrative of a loser. We're talking about a man who's not in a committed relationship, who's not married, who don't live with his children every day, regardless of what reason. How dare you talk about what it takes to maintain in this game and you on the goddamn sideline? Shut that rig shit up. Women don't this. Women don't that. You need a woman to this. You need a woman to that. Well, choose one and work it. And if you can't, shut the hell up. Same for you women. A man want this. A man want that. Shut the hell up. I'm a man that do. Have a conversation with a woman who knows what it takes to make a man do, and have a man that want to. Stop rigging our people's mind with a losing narrative. That's the new niggery. Derogatory. Derogatory. Honorless. I don't need a man. My children don't need a man. My children don't need their daddy. Listen how backwards ass rigging that is. My car don't need a battery. My radiator don't need no antifreeze. I could put water in my radiator. That's just how you feel. You feel like we need antifreeze. I ain't got to put no antifreeze in my radiator. That's how you think. Everybody ain't going to think like you. You on the highway with a block of ice in your radiator and your shit smoking, and now you're saying, oh, the devil, so wrong. Why the devil fucking with me? No, you're just a nigga on some nigga rig shit. And you reject the truth. We look at the news and we talk about these children. And we keep saying, what's wrong with them? Everybody see the battery cable loose. But nobody want to accept why the boy won't start. Everybody knows the little girl ain't got no alternator. She ain't got no charging system. But everybody keep acting like they don't know why she won't stay running. There go that anger. Goddamn right. And if you ever hear this or feel this is anger, you ain't on the goddamn field no way. Because when you on the field and you get passionate, and somebody else that's on the field that's fighting this good fight with all our might, knowing what it takes to keep this thing right. They know this ain't anger. They know this is desperation in a time where we got to give all we got. To hold on. So if you think it's anger, you ain't on the goddamn field no way. Shut the hell up on the sideline. I ain't got time to think about no bullshit you talking about. When I got a wife and children that's in this here war zone, that's depending on me. Fuck you mean? I ain't talking to you no way. Can't understand shit I'm talking about. I'm in the game. That's Black history. The same fire. That same fire is what burns to create the reed, to make a change, to make a way. If you ain't got the fire, then you ain't cooking. And if you ain't cooking, then you ain't eating. So if you ever been in a situation where it looked like you ain't gonna win, but you got a commitment that you got to get to, so you got to do what you got to do, regardless of what the circumstances. My objective says, hey man, we finna do this, we finna get it right, and I'm finna get to where I got to be. And when we do it right and get to where we got to be, we say, man, they got the best of me. Everything you celebrate is a product of that. And every moment you live is your story. And if you believe that your story is one of the greatest stories ever told, those that benefit from your story and those that are a part of your story will speak in honor, and it will be his story. They say who? I'm talking about you. See how that works. Hey, see, you already know what it is. AC Kenny, you already know what it is. We talking about Black history. I want to tell this story as a moment of Black history. I'm talking about a piece of my story. A piece of my story. This is real life. I ain't talking make believe. We all we got. We all we need. It was 98 degrees on a hot day. I had a newborn baby in the house. My air went out. I'm vulnerable. We all we got, we all we need. AC Kenny, please come help me. AC say, Trav ain't got no tools, man. I've been a victim of the fools, man. They broke in my truck and stole all my shit. I said, damn. I said, well, AC, man, help me help you. What are all the tools you need to do what you got to do? I say, let's run the play. We went to the store, bought everything he needed to put in my unit. What is value to be a brand new unit installation? It is valued if you go to Morris Jenkins at that particular time. I'm going to say it was somewhere in the latter $5,000 or more. Right now, a new unit at Morris Jenkins will run you $11,000. We all we got, we all we need. AC saying, man, it's going to take me about $400 to get all my tools. He said, we can buy the unit for about sale. I say, so we looking at about $11,000. He said, yeah. I say, let's run the play. To this day, AC ain't stopped since. He's been back in the game. And what he taught me and what I learned gave me a power to stand on today. That's real Black history. That's how we make a difference in each other's life. That's how one brother help another brother. That's how you respect a man. That's how it works. That's how it works. Think about how many people right now that's connected to you. But all you got to do is have respect. See, I'm going to tell you something I was chewing on the other week. Oh, I feel so good. I was talking about judgment. I'm going to get out of here on this. Alexa, what's the meaning of judgment?
Judgment is the ability to make decisions based on available information, often referring to legal judgments or decisions made by a court of law. It can also refer to the obligation or debt arising from such decisions.
I say your judgment is based off a reflection in yourself. Some people judge people and look for the ugly in people because they scared to look in the mirror and see the ugly within themselves. So their judgment of you is how they see themselves. I see myself as the one. So I judge people through the lenses of hoping that they are the one within their own right. I try to see the good until it's shown different. And I got a hell of a notification when it ain't right. But because of that, there comes a respect. There comes a dignity. There comes an honor that's received just as much as it's given. And you will see the greatness within your brothers and sisters' soul. And they may be one of the ones in a particular situation where they don't have the tools and the resources to truly work in the element of which their skills show. But because you judge them through the light in yourself, you'll see their glow. And they'll give you, in some type of way, something that money can't buy. And when those on the outside look at those particular relationships and they know that it costs $9,000 to get a unit, because when mine went out, they said, when mine went out, I called everywhere and the least I can get one with $9,000. So they see yours go out and they see you get one put in the next day, and they trying to use their calculator to say, hey, he got money, he spent $9,000, and they ain't gonna never get to truly understand who you are and what you are by the means of their calculation and how they add things up, only using what's on the outside as far as money. See, some things money can't buy. There's grace, there's honor, there's respect, there's genuineness, there's sincerity. And when you connect with someone and they feel that, you'll always be covered. I'm talking about in real life. I ain't talking about make-believe. In real life, if I have an AC issue, I got brothers that's a part of my wing. They respect me like I respect them. That's ready if I need. And we're going to rig it up if we got to. We might even come up with something new. We do that a lot. Come up with something new. Man, anybody never thought this right here. Hell no. I love y'all, man. I have grown into a better me. I'm growing, baby. I'm better than who I used to be. I've been on a journey for 44 years. I'm growing, baby. I had some good times as well as I have shared some tears. I'm getting better and better every day. Feeling like I'm moving in the right way. It's been a long time coming. I pay my dues, I put that work in, baby. Trying to be a better me. Done damn near drove me crazy. But it was worth it, baby, 'cause I loved it, baby. And I'm a better me. I remember when I used to be a younger me, man, if I knew then, but I know now. Now I'm as wise as an old owl, feeling young as a soul child. And I feel good to be made. I'm so proud of the man that I done grown up, baby. I have grown into a better me. I'm growing, baby. I'm better than what I used to be. I've made that song to solely be sung in the mirror. Stand in the mirror. Look into your eyes until you see your inner prize. I love you. Hold me.